Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. The Super Bowl is right around the corner. That's right, the biggest game of them all. But don't worry, we've got you covered in all angles of betting on the Super Bowl.
It's Super Bowl week, and we've got a super code for you. The code is super for 20% off the entire website at picksandparlays.net.
This video in particular is about props, and we're diving into the Kansas City Chiefs and that fun offense that everybody likes to watch. We've got Scott Rickenbach joining us, who was the #1 capper on picksandparlays.net last year. So somebody you probably want to listen to when it comes to these type of things. Scott, what are some props you have your eyes on when it comes to this Super Bowl and the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, first one's a bit of a contrarian one. But yes, got a couple here for you. And one of them is Travis Kelce to go under the total with his receptions. That total is set at a 7.5. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to look and say, well, he just caught 8 passes in one playoff game and 13 in another. So he's averaged 10.5 per game so far in this postseason. But the thing is, 2 of his first 9 playoff games, those were the only 2 times. So 7 times he's been held under 8 receptions, has not made it to that mark. And I think he'll be held under that mark here. Now, again, I know that's a bit of a contrarian angle, but the thing is, in the first matchup where the Chiefs did go a bit wild against Tampa Bay, a guy by the name of Tyreek Hill was very involved in that. The thing is, Kelce did catch 8 passes, but he was only targeted 8 times. So that was the only time this entire season, including playoffs, that he's been targeted more than 6 times and caught every pass. So again, if they target him again 8, the point being that if they target him again 8 times, just like they did in the first matchup, he's unlikely to have 8 catches again. And again, I just think that KC's going to utilize. They have so many weapons, and I think if the Bucks or defense is focused on shutting down who they can, they got to pick their poison. I think they got a better chance of shutting down Kelce than a guy like Tyreek Hill, which takes me into my next prop, and I'm going over 90.5 receiving yards for him. Now, keep in mind, he went wild in the first matchup and had I think 267 yards, something like that, the first time when these guys met in the regular season. But what I really like here is his ability to break off a big gainer. I don't expect him to get anywhere close to that total in this matchup, but I do expect him to get to the century mark. And part of that reason is he's just so dangerous, and he's been showing that lately. He's in the zone right now, and he had no problem shredding this Bucks defense the last time he saw them. And I think he's going to break off 1, if not 2 big gainers that could easily get us over this total. So I'm not sure how often they'll target him, but in terms of the receiving yards, they're going to target him enough that he's going to get some big gainers, and I expect him to easily go over this total. And then one other thing I wanted to mention on this is that, 7 of the last 9 games, they have targeted him at least 10 times. So he should get his touches, and by that I mean through the air, which is what we need here, of course, to hit that receiving yardage total. And he's averaged 141 yards per game receiving so far in this postseason. And then the last one is more of an overall team prop rather than a player prop, and it's kind of a off the beaten path prop play, if you will. But I really like this one. It's over 4.5 in terms of number of players for the Chiefs to have a rushing attempt. And when you look at it from a couple of angles here, they have a couple of wide receivers, including Tyreek Hill, that have each had rushing attempts in the postseason, including the other guy. I think it was Hardman, the wide receiver, that has had a rushing attempt in each game so far. And I think the Chiefs will want to have some trick plays going here in this game. You're going to see a trick play from Andy Reid where, not necessarily, I don't mean a really crazy trick play, but just the fact that you will see a receiver involved in a running play at some point in this game. And at the same time, besides their running back Williams, they've got a couple other running backs, so they could get touches in this game and should. And then you got, of course, the quarterback getting a touch. And one other angle here, and nobody wants to see this, but let's just say if Mahomes gets hurt, not too bad, but he gets hurt and he's out for a few plays, and they bring in the backup Henne. The thing is, He could get a rushing attempt too. So there's all kinds of ways that this could even get to 5 or 6 guys that end up with a rushing attempt for the Chiefs. Could have a fake punt. Again, I think we'll get at least over the 4.5 based on all those guys and all those factors I just mentioned.
Yeah, I think trick plays are kind of the wild card in this Super Bowl game because unlike the other games, you've got a ton of time to prepare for this one. And especially when you have two offensive minded coaches like Andy Reid and Bruce Arians, I think we will see some trick plays up their sleeve, especially when you have the offensive weapons that both of these teams have. When you talk about players running the football, Tyreek Hill is so fast that you can just do the little end around play. And a lot of times it works because he's so fast he can just outrun everybody. That's not a play that normally
Exactly.
works for most players. So definitely a lot of ways you can play the Super Bowl. There's infinite props if you bet online, if you bet on any of those apps. So I think you can have fun with it. You definitely can bet on way more than just the spread. That's going to do it for our Chiefs Super Bowl prop featuring Scott Rickenbach. As always, great stuff from Scott. Scott, thanks for joining us.